So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this press conference where BK Group PLC will present its full year 2025 audited financial performance. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and a special thank you to our members of the media for honoring our invitation. My name is Daniela Nyamngasa, and I'll be your moderator today. So today we have the privilege of hearing from BK Group leadership, who will provide key insight into the group's and its subsidiaries' performance. And joining us today are Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, the CEO of BK Group PLC, Dr. Diane Karusisi, the CEO of Bank of Kigali, Anita Umuhire, the CFO of Bank of Kigali, and Ange Nyiranyibagirwa, the Group Head of Finance. So following their presentation, we'll open the floor to our media for a Q&A session. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome the BK Group CEO, Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Daniela. Dear members of the media, welcome to our press conference, and thank you for joining us at this session. We are happy to announce the BK Group audited the financial results for the full year 2025. 2025 was a successful year for the group, and it gave us a very good momentum for 2026 as we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Bank of Kigali. BK Group achieved a net profit of 110 billion Rwanda francs, up from 91 billion achieved in the previous year, 2024, which represents an annual increase of 20.9%. This was a result of a strong growth in revenues across business activities and a rigorous cost management. Total assets increased by 15.8% from 2.5 trillion Rwanda franc to 2.9 trillion. And shareholders' equity increased by 19.5% from 438.5 billion to 524.2 billion. Net loans increased by 16.1% from 1.4 trillion to 1.6 plus trillion, and client deposit and balances increased by 14.8% from 1.6 trillion to 1.8 plus trillion. This strong performance of BK Group in 2025 was achieved thanks to a combination of various factors, mainly a disciplined execution of our strategies and a good macroeconomic environment of Rwanda, characterized by a strong GDP growth and a moderate inflation and the Rwanda franc's depreciation. According to National Institute of Statistics, Rwanda achieved a strong growth of 9.4% in 2025, with strong performance in all key sectors, 11% growth in the industry, 9% growth in the services, and 7% in agriculture. This creates a good business opportunity for all businesses, including our group. Inflation was 6.9% within the target band of central bank, BNR, and the Rwanda franc's depreciation was also moderate. It was about 4.6%. In view of this strong performance of the group in 2025, the board of BK Group has approved a final dividend payout of 53.04 francs per share, which represents an increase of 80% compared to last year's dividend payout, which was 29.34 francs per share. This dividend, of course, includes the 2025 interim dividend of 11.2 francs per share, which was paid in January this year. And this dividend, of course, is subject to approval by the AGM of shareholders in May this year. So as usual, I would like to summarize the statement in Kinyarwanda for a wider audience. Natangiye shimira abanyamakuru bitabiriye iki kiganiro aho tubagezaho umusaruro BK Group yagezeho mu mwaka ushize wa 2025 kandi babwira ko umwaka wagenze neza ndetse duha imbaraga twatangiranye muri uyu mwaka wa 2026 umwaka twizihiza imyaka 60 Banki ya Kigali imaze mu Rwanda itanga serivisi ku Banyarwanda. Umusaruro wabaye mwiza kuko inyungu ya groupe yose yageze kuri miliyari 110 na miliyoni 100 z'amafaranga y'u Rwanda, bigaragaza ko iyongereho 20.9% ugereranyije n'umwaka wa 2024. Umutungo mbumbe wiyongeyeho 15.8% uva kuri miliyari 2,521 ugera kuri miliyari 2,919. Izo ni trillions. Inguzanyo zihabwa abakiriya ziyongera ku gipimo cya 16.1% uva kuri miliyari 1,454 bigera kuri miliyari 688. Naho amafaranga abakiriya babitsa nayo yiyongereho ku gipimo cya 14.8% na 84. Ibiro tubikesha akazi keza kakozwe na banki ndetse n'ibindi bigo bigize group, ariko nanone tukabikesha nuko ubukungu bw'igihugu bwagenze neza mu mwaka wa 2025 kuko nkuko bigaragazwa n'ikigo cy'igihugu kibarurishamibare ubukungu bw'u Rwanda bwazamutse ku gipimo cy'9.4% mu mwaka wa 2025 kari igipimo cyo hejuru, kandi kigaragarira mu nzego zose z'ubukungu kuko urwego rw'inganda rwazamutse ku gipimo cya 11%, urwa service ruzamuka ku gipimo cy'9%, naho urw'ubuhinzi ruzamuka ku gipimo cya 7%. Ibiro bikaba bitanga amahirwe ku bindi bikorwa bitandukanye harimo n'ibya BK Group. Izamuka ry'ibiciro byari rigereranyije ko byari ku gipimo cya 6.9%. Ifaranga ry'u Rwanda ryataye agaciro ku gipimo nacyo kigereranyije cya 4.6%. Hamaze gusuzumwa rero uko group umusaruro wa group ko wazamutse ndetse nuko ikigo gihagaze, inama y'ubutegetsi ya BK Group yemeje urwunguko rugenerwa abashoramari rw'amafaranga 53 ku mugabane, bikaba bigaragaza inyongera ya 80% ugereranyije nari yatanzwe mu mwaka ubanza wa 2024. Ibiro bikaba bikazemezwa n'inama rusange y'abashoramari iteganyijwe mu kwezi kwa gatanu. N'abatindiye rero nyuma y'incamake nasaba umuyobozi wa banki ya Kigali kubagezaho cyane ibijyanye na performance ya Bank of Kigali. Up to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ozia. I'll talk about the main drivers of the bank's performance in 2025. And Anita is going to help us go through the nitty-gritty of our balance sheet and our income statement. So indeed, we are celebrating 60 years of operation. I think you're going to hear more about us this year. We have a schedule of activities to celebrate with our customers, with our communities, the milestones that we've reached together. And we also want to commit that we'll do better for the next 60 years. Probably most of us won't be here, but for those, we know that the bank will be here. So the bank continued to expand its business, broadening the client base, and we've reached close to 780,000 customers. We believe this has been achieved with a campaign that we started at the beginning of last year, Bigere Onabeka. But more so, I think we are serving more segments, underserved segments of the economy. So for one, agribusiness has grown significantly. Our agribusiness portfolio has grown 49%, which we believe is quite commendable, as now the BK franchise is being known not only in Kigali, but across the country and supporting farmers. So in agribusiness, we have been able to deploy financing to the tune of 93 billion, serving 120,000 clients. So we've also continued to grow and expand our SME business. Our SME portfolio also grew significantly by 37%, which we believe is also a testament to our commitment to serve the Rwandan economy. So this diversification is intentional. 10 years ago, our corporate business made up close to 80% of our lending business. So today, with this intentional diversification into agribusiness, SME, retail, the corporate banking is now below 60% of our portfolio. And we believe this is helping us to reach more people in this economy and really contribute to the economic transformation of the country. And this is also the reason why we've been able to grow our customer deposits significantly. This has been one of our main targets over the past year. From 2025, we are trying to grow our deposit base and as much as possible to collect and mobilize affordable deposits, so we are able also to lend at more affordable rates. So today, our deposits are close to 1,900 billion, which is close to 2 trillion Rwanda francs. And 88% of this deposit base is made of current account and savings account, which is well diversified, but also quite affordable for the bank. So I'll probably also talk about our non-funded income. Those who've read our financials have seen a significant drop of our non-funded income. So this is mainly driven by a regulatory guideline that was introduced last year, reducing banks' margins in our FX foreign exchange business. So this has led to loss of approximately 4 billion in non-funded income. And also we've been working with clients to reduce the fees that we charge on loans, because we want to be closer to our clients and also more competitive vis-a-vis the market. So we have plans on how to revamp our non-funded income business. We'll be talking about those plans in the near future, as we have new products that we are going to launch in partnership with telcos in the country. So something that has also driven our profitability the past year, in 2025, was our asset quality that has improved significantly. Our NPL ratio dropped for the first time in a long time below 3%. This shows the discipline in our underwriting, and also shows that the business is really getting to a level of maturity because of all the effort we've put in in the past years. And as you've seen, Dr. Oziel has talked about our profit. We are very happy to enter this year, 2026, which is a very momentous year for BK, 60 years in the country. So we are very happy to enter this year with a solid balance sheet, quite diversified, with solid capital base, so we can promise to our customers and our stakeholders that BK will be here for the next 60 years, supporting businesses and supporting the transformation of the economy. So I'll stop there, and I'm sure Anita will share with you all the numbers that you want to hear today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Diane, and good afternoon, everyone. So I'll build on the foundation that Dr. Diane laid and translate this into our performance. So looking at the primary growth engine of our performance for last year, net interest income grew by 16.2% to 215.9 billion. And this, the growth here was mainly driven by the gross loan book expansion of 16% year on year, which translates to roughly around 236 billion. And so this added approximately 26.7 billion to interest income. And this was underpinned by, as Dr. Diane mentioned, sectoral deepening in agriculture and SME. Another strong contributor to our performance last year was due to the deposit mix transformation, whereby there was a deliberate shift from expensive term deposit towards low-cost CASA, CASA being current accounts and savings accounts, which simultaneously grew the funding base while reducing the cost of carrying it. So we were able to reduce more costly term deposits by 109 billion, while mobilizing CASA by an additional 350 billion. So this resulted in the cost of funds falling by 70 basis points from 3.4% in 2024 to 2.7% last year. And therefore, this resulted in a reduction in our interest expense, as you may have noted, by 5.5% year on year, from 61.7 billion in 2024 to 58.3 billion last year. On non-funded income, as Diane mentioned, we took a hit last year of causing a reduction of around 11.5% year on year. This resulted in a non-funded income ratio of around 21.4% against 25% the year before. So this, as discussed, was mainly due to the FX reforms that took place towards the middle of last year, which resulted in a bleed of around 4.4 billion in expected income. However, there were some other winners within non-funded income, although not material enough to offset the shortfall in FX income. One of these wins for us was on cards revenue, which grew by 30.6% last year to 7.5 billion. And this was also as a direct output of our investment in the acquiring infrastructure and growing POS transaction volumes. Looking at operational efficiency, total operating costs grew by 11.2% to 99.6 billion. Personnel costs increased by 14.1%, and this was mainly driven by the pension reforms that happened at the beginning of last year that saw an increase in contributions from 8 to 12%. However, administration cost decreased by 0.6% year on year, reflecting a tighter discretionary cost control. There were also several initiatives around containment of costs, especially in admin expenses, including the automation of procure-to-pay, vendor renegotiations that delivered around 20% cost savings, as well as branch cost optimization. It's also important to note that, as mentioned, our currency relatively stabilized against the US dollar last year. We saw a lower depreciation of 4.6%, and this helped to reduce the cost of imported services, especially IT licenses. So despite the overall cost growth, the cost-to-income ratio was stable. It held at around 36.5%, significantly below the sector average of 47.3%, and the third consecutive year below 40%. On credit risk and asset quality, as Diane also mentioned, our cost of risk significantly decreased from 2.4% to 1% last year, with the net loss loan provisions falling by 52.5% to around 15.8 billion. So this single line item also was a significant contributor to our performance last year. The NPL ratio closed at 2.9%, down from 3.2%. Reflecting the growth in our loan book, but as well as the discipline in underwriting, as Diane also mentioned. By segment, the retail NPL improved from 10.6% to 5.9%, SME from 7.6% to 5.4%, and corporate remained steady at a low of 1.7%. So all of the above contributed to deliver a strong performance, a profit after tax of 110.3 billion, representing a 22.9% year-on-year growth. Looking at our balance sheet, our total assets grew by 16.2% to 2.86 trillion, and this was funded primarily by a deposit-based expansion, which saw customer deposits grow by 14.6% to 1.89 trillion. And as mentioned earlier, one of the wins for us was the increase in the CASA mobilization, raising the CASA contribution to 88% from 79% in 2024. Liquidity ratios remain well within regulatory requirements, LCR at 424%, and NSFR at 137.4%. On capital adequacy, we closed the year with a total capital adequacy ratio of 21.1% against a regulatory minimum of 15.8%, which gives us a buffer of 530 basis points. In conclusion, 2025 was a strong year, was strong in terms of profitability, structural credit quality improvements, and disciplined balance sheet management. Net income grew by 22.9%, cost of risk halved, and CASA grew by 30%. The strategic investments that Diane also touched on, especially in agri, digital infrastructure, and other new segments, we believe will continue to support our growth as we head into 2026. Thank you, and I think we are open for questions.
Thank you, CEOs and CFO Anita, for the detailed breakdown into the bank and BK Group's performance in 2025. Now, I would like to open the floor to our members of the media. If you could tell us your name, the media house you represent, and your question. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me? It's fine? Okay. Midway. I am James. I'm from Togo. I'm from East Africa Media Group, EMG TV. The breakdown today was very interesting, really positive. All the numbers were sounding really good. I want to start with the bigger picture and the strategic plan of the BK Group and the Bank of Kigali. This question is for Mr. Uziel. On a strategic level, you posted profit growth this year increase in the manner that the bank made of over 20% year on year compared to the same period last year, right? What exactly drove this growth beyond just loan book expansion? And the loan book expansion is the growth in total amount of loans that you've given out, right? So what really drove that? That's my first question. The second question is, how sustainable do you think this performance is in tightening regional economic environments? Because we know that the inflation in Rwanda right now is really high. And we also have the East Africa slower business activity that is running over the years until now, which has really decreased. So how do you think that impacts the region? And the third question is, are you growing because of strong fundamentals? So like real core business, strength like strong customers, strong repayments, stable operations, or because the market is simply expanding really well? Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you, James. I think as you heard from the three presentations, our results are based more on innovation and efficiency, so which are expected to produce even more results going forward. Our strategy focuses on building and developing the retained talents, and all our results, of course, rely on the quality of the human capital we have. Our strategy also focuses on digital technologies. We have invested heavily in this, both in systems, but also in skills. And from that, we are diversifying our distribution channels. We are developing new products, and as Diane said, even more is yet to come this year. So these are investments, but that are likely to produce even more results this year and in the medium term. So in short, the results we are seeing are based on already investment we are making, conflict with impact on oil prices and the transmission of that through all value chains. So these are risks that we continue to monitor. So if the impact of these events on the global economy, our regional economies, and our national economy also will affect individual businesses. So things are changing very frequently, making it difficult to predict what can happen the following day. But we have seen the market reactions on the evolution of conflict, the political declarations. You see it's a volatile movement we are observing, but what is real is that the prices have increased significantly compared to the prior conflict before 20th of February. Currently, the prices are above $100 per barrel, and we see impact on many countries, and some countries have tried to mitigate and take measures, but which may only have a short-term impact. The hope is that the conflict will not last longer, and many efforts will be made to reduce it, but these are risks we are exposed to, and we just will continue to monitor the trend. It is a global problem, not just a national one. So, but we do our best to continue to build the resilience and adapt to the market environment. Thank you.
Yes, can you go ahead?
Mwiriwe, nitwa Beata Umutoni nkorera BNB Kigali FM. Mfite ikibazo ni bibiri. Icya mbere ni uburyo bwo kugira ngo dusobanukirwe neza. Iyo muvuze ko hari urwunguko rw'amafaranga ruziyongera ku mugabane ku bashoramari, umushoramari atandukaniye he n'undi muntu waba akorana na beka? Ikindi kibazo cya kabiri, muranyihanganira kirasa naho gitandukanye cyane n'ibyo mwamaze kuvugaho, nibijyanye n'ibyo n'ubundi hanze bavuga. Hari abantu batinya gufunguza ama account muri beka, bavuga yuko iyo nta mafaranga barimo gushyiraho, iyo agarutse asanga ari muri minus, hari amafaranga arimo kwishyuzwa cyangwa se nayo yabitseho wenda amaze igihe adakoresha ya account agasanga yaravuyeho. Ibyo biterwa n'iki? Nimba ari byo koko, ese ntibishobora gukumira bamwe mu gutinya kuza gushyira amafaranga yabo muri beka? Murakoze.
reka wenda ntangire kuri icyo kibazo cya nyuma mwabajije mutubwira ko hari abantu batinya gufungura konti muri beka bibaza ko yo nta mafaranga ariho cyangwa yo bagarutse bitinze basanga amafaranga yaravuyeho ibi ngibi byari byo kera ariko twakuyeho ubundi abakiriya batangaga amafaranga 1,000 ku kwezi amafaranga yo gucunga konti ariko ibyo twabikuyeho hashize hafi imyaka 2 dukora campaign ya nanjye ni beka niho twatangiye kubikuraho kugira ngo dufungure amarembo tubona abakiriya benshi kandi twabonye ko byabyaye umusaruro nk'abanyamakuru rero turashaka ko tubwira n'abandi abakiriya bari aho hanze batinya kuza gufungura konti muri beka ko nta kiguzi cyo kugira konti amafaranga agiyeho nta muntu yakoraho n'amafaranga y'umukiriya kandi amafaranga akatwa y'umuntu yohereza amafaranga wenda kuri momo n'ahandi twarabigabanyije cyane ku buryo tubona ko kugira konti muri beka ari ibintu byagira akamaro umwe wese ntabwo ari abakire gusa cyangwa abantu b'abakozi n'abantu bose b'abanyabiraka nabo bashobora gufungura konti muri beka bakagira amahirwe yo gukorana na banki izatuma batera imbere bashobora kwaka inguzanyo kugira ngo biteze imbere. Murakoze. Ikibazo mwabaje kuri ikinyuranyo ku mushoramari n'abandi bakiriya. Umushoramari ni umuntu washyize amafaranga muri beka ni umunyamigabane. Rero twebwe turabakorera abanyamigabane turabakorera iyo twungutse amafaranga tubaha amafaranga mu buryo bwa dividend niyo Dr. Ozeri avuga ko yiyongereye cyane kuko banki yarungutse mu buryo abanyamigabane bazabona ubwunguko muri dividend. Umukiriya usanzwe we ahabwa service ariko umunyamigabane we turamukorera iyo twungutse abayungutsemo.
Reka nongereho ikintu kugira ngo ndashaka kumutumira ngo abe umunyamigabane. Banki ifite abanyamigabane benshi, ifite kandi iri ku isoko ry'imigabane rya Rwanda Stock Exchange. Buriya buri munsi abantu bafite imigabane, hari abantu bagura imigabane, hari abagurisha bafite cyangwa imikemwe bafite, isoko ririho. Ku buryo rero imari shingiro n'imari y'imigabane ihuriweho n'abo banyamigabane benshi, n'abantu benshi cyane kandi isoko rirafunguye. Bivuze ko namwe abanyamakuru mushatse kugura imigabane mwanyura ku brokers barimo ikigo kimwe cyacu cya BK Capital, ukavuga imigabane ifuza kugura bitewe n'amafaranga ufite, ukagura ugaba umunyamigabane. Iyo umunyamigabane rero ushaka kumeza ukagura indi ukayongera mu gihe cy'umwaka, ushobora kugurisha ukeneye amafaranga, ariko iyo umwaka urangiye hamaze kuboneka inyungu, hari igice cy'inyungu kisigara mu kigo kugira ngo cyongere gishorwe nk'imari n'ikigo n'igice kigenerwa abanyamigabane tukayabaha dukurikije umubare w'imigabane bafitemo. Abafite imigabane menshi babona menshi, abafite mike ariko mu buryo buri proportional. So mu by'ukuri iryo soko rirafunguye, ahubwo n'uyu mwanya no kubonderaho ngo tubakangurire mugura imigabane uko ugura iyo ushoboye kugura, nawe ufite make bashobora kugura imigabane.
440.
Igiciro cy'umugabane kuri uno munsi cyageze amafaranga 440. Imigabane mike ishobora kugura imigabane 100, hafi n'ibihumbi 40, ukagura imigabane 100 yo muri BK Group. Aho nunganiye ibyo abayobozi batangaje mu kanya nuko iyo uguze umugabane muri BK Group benefit inyungu zose ziva mu bigo bigize BK Group bihurira hamwe kugira ngo dutange iyo profit ku banyamigabane.
Murakoze cyane. Nitwa Valence Nshimyimukiza, nkorera Royal FM. Mu Rwanda hari ikibazo cy'urubyiruko, ubushomeri mu rubyiruko buri hejuru y'icumi muri 14 ariko iyo urebye usanga benshi muri bo bagaragaza ko mu buryo bwo kwiteza imbere, gufata inguzanyo mu mabanki, ikiguzi kiri hejuru, bungukisha amafaranga menshi cyane. Ese nka beka n'ubuhe mwihariko wanyu mu gufasha u Rwanda kugabanya ikibazo cy'ubushomeri?
Murakoze. Nibyo koko ikibazo cy'ubushomeri kiratureba twese nk'abanyarwanda, cyane cyane nk'abayobozi bakora muri beka. So uburyo tubikoramo twebwe iyo dutanze inguzanyo, akenshi abakiriya bacu baba bashaka kwagura ibikorwa byabo. Niba ari company iri muri transport, bakavuga ngo bagiye kugura amakamyo, wenda bagiye kwagura ibikorwa byabo, bituma batanga akazi. Ni muri ubwo buryo dufasha ubushomeri kugabanuka, cyangwa companies duha inguzanyo kugira ngo batange akazi. Hari na gahunda zo guha abantu, wenda abantu bishyize hamwe. Hari company y'abantu bize muri Israel ibintu bya agriculture, barataha bashyiraho company, batangira gukorana na Minagri, batangira no gukora amasoko. Iyo abantu bishyize hamwe bafite ubumenyi, bafite ibyo bashobora kungura ekonomi yacu, tureba uburyo tubafasha kugira ngo babone inguzanyo biteze imbere nabo. Ariko cyane cyane iyo dutanze inguzanyo kuri companies, bituma bagira ibikorwa, ibyo bikorwa bigatanga akazi. Nibyo navuga ko contribution yacu yo kugabanya ubushomeri. Wenda n'ikindi kibitera nuko hari ukuntu ibyo abantu bize n'ibikenewe ku isoko ry'akazi usanga binyuranye, ku buryo umuntu ashobora kuba yarize ikintu ariko agasanga ku isoko ntabwo akeneye, ahubwo akeneye ibindi bintu. Rero gukomeza kuganira, kureba ibyo isoko rikeneye, ku buryo abantu bava mu mashuri baza bafite ubumenyi isoko ry'akazi rikeneye. Murakoze.
Ngira ngo mwamfasha mukagihuza n'iki cyo kigaragara muri sekiteri y'ubuhinzi, nibwo bufite pourcentage iri hasi cyane mu kuzamuka ugereranyije n'izindi. Mubona mu mishinga mufasha ubwitabire bwo kwitabira ubuhinzi buhagaze bute mugereranyije n'indi mishinga uko yitabirwa?
Nibyo koko iyo ureba inguzanyo dutanga mu zindi sectors ni nyinshi cyane kurenza uko dutanga inguzanyo mu buhinzi. Mu buhinzi tugeze kuri miliyari 94 hafi. Gahunda yacu ni ukugera kuri miliyari 150 umwaka utaha. Twizeye ko tuzabigeraho, ariko biturutse kuri hafi zero. Mu myaka ishize nta nguzanyo twatangaga mu buhinzi. Twabishyizemo imbaraga, tuha akazi abantu b'abagronome. Ubundi ntabwo wasangaga umugronome ukora muri banki. Ubu ngubu turabafite, kuko badufasha bazana ubumenyi bwo mu buhinzi no mu bworozi, ku byo natwe twashyiraho products zibereye abantu bari mu buhinzi. Ni urugendo, ntabwo ari ibintu dushobora kubabwira ko tuzagera kuri miliyoni 500 ejo, ariko ni urugendo. Tugenda dukorana na sectors zitandukanye. Twatangiranye na coffee, tea, ubu ngubu twageze no muri maize, rice. Dukorana na cooperatives, ariko dutanga n'inguzanyo ku bantu borora, kuko hari uruganda runini rw'amata rwashyizweho i Nyagatare rukeneye umusaruro mwinshi. Twagiye tukorana na Minagri n'abandi ba stakeholders kugira ngo dutange inguzanyo abantu bongera umusaruro. So ni ibintu turakora, tumaze kugerageza kugiramo ubumenyi natwe nka banki kugira ngo dushyireho products, ariko bizagenda byiyongeraho mu fatanyabikorwa na Minagri n'izindi nzego. Murakoze.
Yego, twafashe ikibazo cyane.
Murakoze cyane. Nitwa Calixte Kaberuka, nkorera RBA. Reka nshimire cyane Bike uruhare mukomeje kugira mu iterambere ry'igihugu ndetse n'abaturage. Mwatubwiye performance yanyu, ariko turifuza kumenya mu by'ukuri icyo bita non performing loans, kuko nacyo ni ikintu cyugarije amabanki bitewe n'ibihe turimo. Ikindi mubona nta cyuho kirimo ku bijyanye no kwegera abaturage hasi, kuko uwumva beka arumva ko ari banki ijyamo abakire cyane kurenza abandi, kuko niyo ugiye hasi mu mirenge usanga mu by'ukuri no kumva Bank of Kigali biracyari ikibazo gikomeye cyane, ku buryo twavuga ko icyizere mushaka kubaka mu banyarwanda n'icyerekezo mufite mu kubaka u Rwanda binyuze muri aya mafaranga mutanga biracyari hasi. Ndetse ntekereza ko ni sekiteri y'ubuhinzi abaturage bumva inguzanyo mu buhinzi usanga ikiri nke cyane, kubera ko abaturage iyo urebye Bank of Kigali yibera mu mijyi cyane kurenza uko na wa muturage w'umuhinzi ashaka kujyamo yayiboneramo inzira yo kuyijyamo muri rusange. Mubona nta cyoho kirimo. BK Group hari abaturage bibaza barashaka kumva ngo BK Group ni iki, kuko hari n'ababyitiranya na Bank of Kigali. Wenda Dr. Ozier araza kubitubwiraho. Ibibazo byanjye byari byo, ndabashimiye.
Murakoze. Reka wenda tuganire kuri iyo perception iri mu banyarwanda ko beka ari banki nini y'abakire. Wenda ni icyuho, wenda iyo umuntu yerekana inyungu banki yagize abantu babona ko ari amafaranga menshi, bakabona ko ari banki ijyamo abakire gusa, ariko dufite gahunda zo kugera ku banyarwanda bose biciye muri programs tugirana muri agribusiness. Ibyo twabivuze ni ibintu tuzakomeza gushyiramo imbaraga ku buryo twagera no ku muhinzi no ku mworozi, ntituhe inguzanyo gusa kuri koperative cyangwa company iri mu buhinzi, ariko tugere no ku muhinzi wo hasi nawe ashoboye kwiteza imbere. Hari gahunda nyinshi dufite, nk'uko twahoze tubivuga, uyu mwaka turizihiza imyaka 60 beka ikorera mu Rwanda ifatanya n'abanyarwanda kubaka igihugu. Hari byinshi tuzabagezaho mu minsi iri imbere, ko tuzajya dufatanya n'inzego za sport, kuko tuzi ko zigira abafana benshi. Turebe ukuntu twakora products zibereye abo bafana nabo bashoboye kwiteza imbere. Hari gahunda dufitanye na universities, kureba ukuntu twageza serivisi zacu ku banyeshuri bari muri universities. Ni abantu benshi kandi ni abantu twizeye ko aribo bazaba abayobozi b'u Rwanda rw'ejo. Naho dufite products turashyira mu bikorwa. Muri minsi ishize twashyizeho product twita Be Creative y'abantu b'abahanzi, abaririmbyi, abantu bakora ubuhanzi. Twashyizeho product yabo, so turagenda dushyiraho products zibereye abantu, ariko tukanabikora mu biganiro n'abo bantu kugira ngo twumve imbogamizi bafite, twumve gahunda bafite, turebe ukuntu twashyiraho products ariyo konti, ariyo inguzanyo zatuma begera beka. So muri promise dufite ku bakiriya bacu ko twizihiza imyaka 60, turababwira tumaze imyaka 60 koko dukorana n'abanyarwanda, ariko mu myaka 60 iri imbere turashaka kugera kuri buri munyarwanda wese, kuko iyo umuntu atekereza beka niyo banki y'abanyarwanda isigaye. Turashaka kwiyegeza abanyarwanda tukagera mu ngo zose hafi, ku buryo twumva ko serivisi zacu zagirira akamaro umunyarwanda wese ushaka kwiteza imbere. So nibyo navuga, ni urugendo rurerure, kuko tugomba guhindura imyumvire y'abantu, tubegera, tubaganiriza, tubabwira ukuntu gukorana na banki ari ibintu bibafitiye inyungu. Tuzi ko tuzabigeraho, ariko tuzabigeraho n'abanyamakuru nk'amwe dufatanyije kugira ngo bigere aho bigomba kugera. So Dr. Ozier arasobanura BK Group na Bank of Kigali aho bitandukanye. Murakoze cyane. Yes, hari mwabaje kuri NPL. Mwabibonye non-performing loan mu by'ukuri byaragabanutse cyane, biri munsi ya 3%. Mu myaka myinshi ishize niyo NPL iri hasi nka beka duherutse. Ni ukuvuga ko abantu bamaze kumenyera gufata inguzanyo no kubyishyurira ku gihe no guplaninga. Bamaze no kumenyera kuganira na banki iyo bagize ikibazo, kuko ibibazo muri business, ibibazo y'umuntu wenda abuze akazi yashobora kugira ikibazo, ni ibintu bisanzwe. Ariko tugenda dukangurira abakiriya bacu, mwegere banki iyo mwagize ikibazo, turebe ukuntu dufatanya, tugakora restructuring, ibyo byose byatumye NPL yacu ijya hasi cyane. Iyo urebye no mu Rwanda muri rusange NPL iri hasi ugereranyije n'ibindi bihugu nko muri Kenya n'ahandi usanga NPL ari hejuru. So ni ibintu bishimishije cyane byerekana ko abanyarwanda bamaze kumenya gukorana na banki, kandi iyo NPL iri hasi nuko ko nabo bunguka, ntabwo ari banki yonyine yunguka, nuko abakiriya nabo bashoboye kwishyura nabo bunguka muri business yabo, bigatuma ya mibare Dr. Ozeri avuga ko ubukungu bw'igihugu bugenda buzamuka kandi bwiyongereho 9% mwaka ushize.
Urakoze Callixte kubaza ikibazo kuko kirafasha benshi kumva kuko BK Group na BK Bank bitandukaniye he. Ni bimwe bitandukanye ku ijambo group. Group bivuze ko harimo ibindi bigo bitari bank. Uyu munsi dufite ibigo bitanu, uhere kuri banki ya Kigali ariyo BK, ariyo cyo kigo kinini. Harimo BK Insurance, murayizi, itanga ubwishingizi. Ndetse ku kibazo wabashije kijyanye no kwegera abaturage no gutanga serivisi ku bantu bose, BK Insurance igira mu ruhare ko niyo ifite isoko rinini mu bijyanye n'ubwishingizi bw'ubuhinzi n'ubworozi. Iyo ubihuje n'ibikorwa bya banki bitanga inguzanyo, bikakira amafaranga y'abaturage, ibyo bikorwa biruzuzanya ku buryo tugera ku muturage tumugezaho serivisi zitandukanye, ari za banki ari iz'ubwishingizi. Dufite ikindi kigo cya gatatu cyitwa BK Capital. Igihe navugaga bakangurira kugura imigabane muri BK Group, icyo kigo gifite ishami rishinzwe gufasha abakiriya, abashoramari bashaka kugura iyo migabane, BK Capital, ariko kikajyana n'ibindi bikorwa by'ubujyanama mu by'imari, ndetse bafite n'indi gahunda yitwa Aguka ifasha abaturage bafite amafaranga atandukanye, make menshi, kuba bayashyiramo bakabashorera imari bakabungukira, urwunguko rukaba nk'10%. Iyo nayo akaba ari product bafite muri BK Capital. Dufite ikindi kigo cya kane gishinzwe ikoranabuhanga mu by'imari cyitwa BK Tech House. Bakora application systems zitandukanye z'ikoranabuhanga mu bijyanye no kwishyurana, mu bijyanye n'imicungire. Nabo bafasha ibindi bigo byo muri BK Group, ariko bagafasha n'ibindi bigo byo hanze ndetse n'inzego za leta. Dufite n'ikigo cya gatanu ni foundation, BK Foundation. Iyo ifite inshingano zijyanye n'ubufasha, ntikorera inyungu, ariko ikora ibikorwa bitandukanye bifasha abaturage mu bice bitatu. Hari mu bijyanye uburezi, cyane cyane bita ku byiciro by'abantu by'abafite batishoboye cyangwa se bagiye muri porogaramu leta yatoranyije gushyiramo imbaraga zikomeye nka science technology. Bafite ibikorwa bijyanye n'ibidukikije, bafite n'ibikorwa bijyanye no kwihangira imirimo. Ikibazo mwagarutseho cy'ubushomeri, uretse kuba dufite inguzanyo n'izindi serivisi, ariko foundation niyo ijya gufasha kubaka ubushobozi, ku buryo bafite porogaramu zijyanye no kwigisha abantu gusobanukirwa ibijyanye n'imari, financial literacy. Bafite uburyo bafasha abantu gutegura imishinga bakaba bagera ku rwego rwo kuba babona inguzanyo. Iyo ikindi gice, kandi ibyo bikakorwa ku buntu. Ibyo bigo byose nibyo bigize BK Group. Nakazi.
Ego Alice, twakwakira ikibazo cyawe.
My name is Alice. I work for the New Times. My question is also still in the agriculture sector. These days, farmers have a lot of issues, especially one of them is that fertilizer costs are rising due to the Middle East conflict. So now we want to understand what the Bank of Kigali plans to do for the farmers regarding this, if there is any plan to help them access these inputs and all. Thank you. That's just a question.
Thank you, Alice. That's a tough one. I think we'll see price increases across, from fuel to fertilizers and many byproducts of oil. So we haven't figured out yet how we're going to support the agricultural sector, but it's something that is high on our agenda. Until we keep hoping that the war will end and the straits will be opened, but it looks like it's going to be a long-term thing. So we are having a discussion not only with our team but also stakeholders in agriculture to understand how we can support. So for oil, I think all banks have been supporting extending longer lines or bigger lines of credit for them to import oil. And that's why probably the prices have not gone up yet. I think they'll go up, but for now we have, I think, enough stock. So in consultation with all banks, with the Ministry of Trade and the Ministry of Minecofin, we've been working together to support the oil marketing companies. So we also need to have another forum with Minagri where we see how we support farmers. So we probably will have more to say in the near future.
Niba nta kindi kibazo, okay, we can end our press conference here.
Last one.
Yeah, we can take an additional question.
Okay. This question is for Ms. Anita. I want to ask a few technical questions. So the first one is your loans grew significantly, over 1.68 trillion when I was reading the report yesterday. How confident are you that the growth is not masking the future of your credit risk, because you're loaning more money right now? That's the first question. The second one is on the NPL ratio. I'm just going to break it down for the people watching. That's the non-performing loan ratio, the percentage of loans that are delayed and not being paid and repaid on time, right? It improved slightly to 2.9%, which is better compared to 2024. What structural changes, system level improvements like stronger collections or stricter approvals or better risk controls drove this? And is this durable? Do you think it's durable? Do you think it's gonna make the Bank of Kigali last over time? And I have one question for Ms. Diane. You are increasing your staff acquisition costs. It's getting really high this time. So are you investing more in high-skilled people to grow the team? And at what point does that influence your margins? Because if you hire more people, you're spending more money, and then you also have the projects that you have to get done. So how does that fit into your margin impacts? Yeah, and for Mr. Oziel, apart from monitoring what's happening across the world, right? Because you talked a lot about monitoring and everything. What is actually being done or being projected to be done, right? For Rwanda not to be impacted by what is happening in the Middle East regarding the price rise and inflation and everything. Yeah, because in your answer you talked about monitoring the situation. It's good that you're listening and that you're active on what's happening, but like, do you have damage control rules so that yes, as BK Group, so that because the people are really feeling the inflation. Even me, before tomato was like at 1,000. Now if you go to the market, it's like it's crazy. It's risen up, right? So it's not going down, it keeps going up. So we're wondering what is damage control, right? How do you prepare so that we don't get impacted to the deep? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So I think on the NPL, Dr. Diane actually touched on it, but sorry, unfortunately, it was in Kinyarwanda, so you might have missed it. But overall, what we have seen is, first of all, previously, we had a few accounts that did not perform well, so significantly contributed to our NPL. But if you look at the overall portfolio, there is, well, I would say two things. So one, internally, I think even Dr. Diane touched on it when she was talking about the agriculture sector, that there is enhanced sort of knowledge that helps us in the assessment and the underwriting process. So sort of maturing that process has also helped internally to develop more capacity in terms of screening the loans that we give. But secondly, Diane also mentioned that there is sort of improved awareness in the market overall, whereby, customers are not sort of very scared to come to the bank and share their challenges if they have lost their job or if there's any other challenge, to be able to communicate with the bank and see how to restructure, how else they can go about managing their loans. So those two drivers have helped overall to improve our NPL. So we think that it's not really an issue of we are growing aggressively and we're going to have credit risk issues in the future. It's really more like what we see across the portfolio in terms of just enhancement, both on customer side but internal processes as well.
So there are no risks right now. You
there
sure?
is risks
Because on the report, the loan is growing, right? The loan is very, very, very significant on the report. So if your main source of income is loans, there's going to be a huge risk for the credits that you'll be able to get in the future. So
yes, yeah. I think what we're saying is that credit risk is inherent, in bank business. I mean, that's our core business, really is inherent, and it's one of our core risks. But what we're saying within our performance and our outlook is that it is within our risk appetite. So there are nothing that is sort of flagging beyond the risk appetite, but definitely credit risk continues to be a very key element to the banking business.
So staffing, yes, we are always on the lookout for talent. As we said, we are growing and broadening our business. The group grew into investment banking. We are at the bank even. We are doing agric. We didn't have agricultural skills in the past. Now we are hiring agric. We are building value propositions for different sub-segments because we now understand that you cannot have a one product fits all, one account, and you expect everyone to be your plan. So we are looking at the needs of the people. Because we want to connect with the needs of the people. So we have a number of value propositions we are working on. We talked about the creative industry. We launched Be Creative a few weeks ago because we want to support the creative industry. It's actually a serious economic activity. We figured out that it's a good contributor to GDP. We are working with sports leagues. We want to see how we can be closer to fans and develop products for fans. We are also developing a value proposition for students. Students are the future. So all these new ways of doing business require staff, require people. The bank is more and more becoming a technology company with a banking license, but at the core we do a lot of technology. And at Bank of Kigali, most of the technologies we develop in-house. So it requires a lot of technical talent in engineering, data, Scrum Masters, all spectrum of digital talent. So we keep hiring. And because we still have a long way to go in terms of growing not only our footprint in the country and our balance sheet, and so we believe there's still room for us to grow our talent because we remain a very efficient bank. When you look at our cost to income ratio, it's below 40%. It's actually it's at 37%. Which is quite attractive. So we believe our people contribute to that. We have good talent that are bringing value to the organization. That's why whenever there's talent that is aligned with what we want to do to achieve as an organization, we hire. We have an academy, BK Academy. We hire around 30 young graduates every year. And then we train them. They go through a program of about 4 months. And after 4 months, we deploy them in different divisions within the bank. And we believe these are the future leaders of this organization.
So that doesn't scare the margins.
No problem.
It doesn't scare the margins. Okay, good.
The last question is the most complex one. James, there's no one who can really master these topics because there's a lot of uncertainties about the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. And the major question is whether it is a short-term conflict or whether it will last months, years. Number two, we are at the side of victims. Really, the decision makers are not BK Group or even Rwanda or the region. They are only the decision makers, the main ones are the parties in the conflict. They may decide to end the war, and then we manage the impact of the 1 month conflict, and then life continues. But if they decide to continue, of course, the crisis will deepen, and we have more impact through trade and the other multiplier effects. So the response any country or even company that can envisage is a short term, depending on the impact we can see. It's not only 1 month conflict. The first signals on oil trade are felt in Asia, in the north. Our shipment takes about 2 months to arrive, so we are still using the old stocks with the previous prices. But we can anticipate that the deliveries that will come soon will be, of course, more expensive, and we may affect the pump price. Or imports from Asia, from other countries also may be impacted because one of the major inputs is the energy and the other products that are related to oil, chemicals, etc. But and also the insecurity in the shipment also will have an impact on the insurance and the total cost of freight. So we are yet today to see the real impact. It is very, after that 1 month of conflict, some impact have not yet materialized, but can be expected. But the hope is that probably as it's becoming a global crisis, probably this may push those in the conflict to take a decision that can protect the global economy.
And that's exactly the angle that I was coming from. As you and you said you're victims,
Yeah.
and I was exactly thinking about the victims in the society, right? of the conflict that are living salary to salary every day, and that are seeing prices hike every single day. So there's one thing. I know this question would have been good if you had regulators here, but then my question was, how prepared are you?
Yes, but let me complement in that direction. It's not a question to BK as a company, but as a country, we navigated the harder times than this one during COVID, and we had response measures to protect the economy, to protect the vulnerable people, to protect the private sector. So if it comes to that situation, I believe that there will be measures.
Yes. Last one.
mu bintu mwatubwiye ntabwo mwatweretse wenda intumbero mufite kereka nimba narangaye wenda nkaba ntabyumvise wenda mu gihe cy'imyaka 5 iri imbere mufite iyihe gahunda?
So yes, gahunda dufite y'umwaka.
abe muri uyu mwaka cyangwa se mu yindi myaka iri imbere, gahunda mufitiye abakiriya banyu cyangwa se abandi babagana.
So gahunda dufite kandi tuzagenda tubibereka mu minsi iri imbere. Tumaze imyaka 30 dukorana mu Rwanda, dukorana n'abanyarwanda, ariko iyo urebye 60 wabona ko twamaze kunanirwa. Ariko iyo ureba abanyarwanda tumaze kugeraho b'abakiriya bacu ni bagera ku 70,000 700. Oh my god. Murabona ko atari benshi, ko abanyarwanda miliyoni 14 dufite gusa 700,000. Dufite gahunda yo kureba ukuntu dukorana n'inzego nyinshi z'abaturage. Twavuze abahinzi n'aborozi, dufite gahunda yo gukorana nabo. Twavuze gahunda yo gukorana n'abahanzi, ariyo twamuritse mu minsi ishize, dushaka gukorana n'abahanzi no kubaha inguzanyo zituma biteza imbere. Hari gahunda dufite yo gukorana n'abanyeshuri bo muri universities, kugira cyane ababona bourse, ku buryo dushobora kubaha avance kuri bourse, tukagenda tubafasha mu mibereho yabo, ko tubona ko ari abantu ejo hazaza bazaba abanyarwanda b'abakozi, tubashaka nk'abakiriya. Hari gahunda dufite yo gukorana na Rwanda Premier League muri football, kureba ukuntu tugakorana n'abafana. Muri make gahunda dufite ni ukwegereza abanyarwanda, abaturage mu nzego zitandukanye, kugira ngo turashaka kuba banki y'abanyarwanda koko, aho umuntu wese yumva muri beka ntibabone ko beka ari banki y'abakire gusa cyangwa ya businesses. Turashaka ko abantu bose biyumva muri beka, bakabona service muri beka, bakiteza imbere. Murakoze. N'abanyamigabane kugura umuseko, kugura umugabane 40,000, ushaka kugura imigabane 100. Babonye ko umugabane umwe uhabwa dividend ya 53. Murumva ko uyu muntu ufite imigabane atera imbere.
So allow me to thank you again, our members of the media, for honoring our invitation. And as we come to a close of this press conference, I would like to invite the BK Group CEO for his final remarks.
Thank you. I really thank the media for your time and for the work we do after this session. I believe you're going to inform your audience about the BK Group performance, about our strategies. And I welcome you to the next similar session when we will be announcing our Q1 2026 results. Thank you.